Hello and welcome to the State Hornet News. My name is Dominic Vidiello.
And I'm Vince Ibarra. Here's the latest from the State Hornet newsroom.
Eight Sac State students were quarantined in the American River Courtyard resident hall in the first month of the semester, according to Bill Macris, Associate Vice President, Interim Dean of Students. The students had to be quarantined because of concerns about COVID-19. Brian Blomster, Director of the News and Communications for Sac State, said that none of the students tested positive for the virus and that there have been no positive cases in the dorms this semester. American River Courtyard has a capacity of 606 residents and only 403 students are currently living in the building. According to Luis Gomez, a housing administrative support coordinator, the entire first floor of the resident hall is available if students need to be quarantined.
One of our reporters, Gerardo Zavala, attended the CSU Board of Trustees' first meeting for the 2020-2021 academic year. Here's his report.
The CSU Board of Trustees discussed issues regarding layoffs, ethnic studies, and affirmative action September 20th to September 23rd. Several members from Sac State's Be Free movement spoke in support of anti-racist training.
We demand the Board of Trustees immediately implement a policy that mandates ongoing anti-racist training for all staff, faculty, and administrators.
CSU Employees Union Representative Don Moreno showed his concern for laid-off workers losing health care.
This represents potentially thousands of people being affected by a loss of health care coverage in the middle of a public health crisis.
The board discussed its position on Proposition 16, which would reinstate affirmative action policies banned by Proposition 209 in an attempt to help disadvantaged students.
We have a lot of catching up to do to providing an equal opportunity, a true equal opportunity for students, all students, to have a fair shot. I really hope that this board takes into deep consideration to move this item.
Board member Silas Abrego expressed concern with the implementation of Assembly Bill 1460 to the board. The bill created a new ethnic studies requirement for future CSU students.
And I want to have assurances that the Ethnic Studies Council is being integrated into the discussions. That's what the law says.
Vice Chancellor Lauren Blanchard assured that the Ethnic Studies Council has been meeting and discussing core competencies. An audit last year found a $1.4 billion surplus that the Chancellor's office did not fully report to legislators and students. Board member Jack McGorry noted that the real rainy day reserve is $400 million, which provides 3 weeks of operating costs. The rest of the $1.4 billion has been appropriated to contracts, capital improvement projects, and other uses.
And I think when we're looking at at least 2 years of rough going, we've got to preserve as much of those reserves as we possibly can.
According to a report from collective bargaining specialist Joseph Jelinczyk, 303 CSU employees have received a layoff notice. Jelinczyk also noted that the CSU generally has around 55,000 employees, meaning half of 1% of employees will lose their jobs. According to President Nelson, Sac State has avoided laying off faculty by utilizing an early exit program that has saved the university $6 million. Only 50 of the 570 Sac State employees eligible decided to take the early retirement.
Civil rights icon Dolores Huerta spoke at an event hosted by Sac State Stern Center on Zoom. Huerta is known for her work in the farm labor movement as an advocate for the working poor, women's rights, and civic action. Huerta continues to be active in organizing people at the age of 90. Huerta spoke about the upcoming election, saying, quote, "Let's get out there, let's educate, let's organize, let's mobilize, let's vote."
The election is 15 days away and October 19th is the last day to register to vote in the state of California. Ian Ratliff, our broadcast editor, answered some of the questions about voter registration in this report.
Hi, my name is Ian Ratliff. I'm the broadcast editor at the State Hornet. I'm here to answer any questions you might have about how to register to vote for the election on November 3rd. How to register to vote. The simplest way to register to vote is by going to registertovote.ca.gov. You need to be a U.S. citizen and a resident of California and will need the following information to register: your name, date of birth, street address, your driver's license number, or the last 4 digits of your social security number. Can I check if I'm registered to vote? To check your voter registration, go to voterstatus.sos.ca.gov. Here you will be asked to put in your name, date of birth, driver's license number, or the last 4 of your social security number. Once you've inputted this information, you will be told where you are registered or if you are currently registered to vote. What is the deadline? The deadline to register as a voter in the state of California is October 19. If you submit your registration application by mail, the envelope must be postmarked by October 19 or it will not be counted. What is early voting? How do I do it? While Election Day is November 3rd, 2020, that does not mean you have to wait until then to vote. If you want to vote in person and early, you can visit caearlyvoting.sos.ca.gov. On this website, you can find an early voting location near you by putting in your city, zip code, or county. How do I request a new ballot? If your ballot is lost or you need a new one because yours was sent to the wrong address, contact your county elections office. In Sacramento County, the phone number for the Vote by Mail department is 916-875-6155. Or you can email them at vbm@saccounty.net. You can track your ballot status by going to ballottrack.net/voter and entering your name, date of birth, and zip code, and you will see the status of your ballot. If I miss the registration deadline, can I still vote? If you miss the registration deadline, you can register through your county elections office by contacting them and requesting to go through the conditional voter registration process. A list of county elections contact information can be found at the link on screen and in the description down below. You can also register in person on Election Day at the county elections office, your local polling place, or vote center.
Thank you, Ian, for that report. Visit statehornet.com for more coverage, including a breakdown of all the propositions on the ballot this November. Now we move on from news to the world of sports and arts and entertainment. There will be no football this year at Sac State after Assistant Athletic Director Brian Berger announced the team would be opting out of the upcoming spring football season. Our editor-in-chief, Max Connor, has this report.
On Thursday, the Sacramento State Athletic Department announced they would not participate in the spring 2021 football season being planned by the Big Sky Conference. Head coach Troy Taylor said the decision was made over concerns that playing a spring season followed by a fall season a few months later was not in the best interest of the players' health and safety.
For us, it just it was not worth the risk to our players and to our program. We just felt like we were trying to be wise and do what's best for everybody, and that's the conclusion that we came to.
While players are disappointed, Coach Taylor and quarterback Jake Dunaway said they understood and supported the decision.
Obviously, guys want to play football. You know, we all love. Nobody loves football more than me, and they love playing. But there were concerns. They had concerns about the short turnaround time. Now, would they have played? Yeah. I mean, these guys are warriors. They would have definitely played.
For us, we'd rather be safe and have our full team healthy going into the fall, so we can compete and go on to hopefully win a national championship.
Sac State Athletics Director Mark Orr said the increased health costs and potential testing program of a spring season during the pandemic were not factors in the decision.
I can say finances didn't drive this decision. What drove this decision was what's in the best interest of the student athletes. If we felt it was safe for them to participate, if Coach Taylor felt comfortable with it, if the young men wanted to play and we thought it was the right thing to do, we would have done it.
The NCAA is allowing schools to add an extra year of eligibility to its players, meaning Sac State will keep all of its seniors on scholarship next year.
We want to make sure these guys do have an opportunity to play their senior year. And so for us, that was a pretty easy decision in terms of keeping our guys on scholarship for another year.
Dunaway said for now, players will continue to focus on preparing for next year and building team chemistry.
It is tough. We do want to be all together. And we hope that things progress and eventually we'll be able to get back together and start playing football. So we can start focusing on, our next season. So
this has been Max Connor reporting for State Hornet News.
The Big Sky Conference and Sac State Student Athlete Committee will give student athletes the day off on November 3rd to encourage students to vote in the 2020 presidential election. Isaiah Maribel, a sprinter for the Sac State track and field team and SAAC representative, said the decision was led by students. He said he believes if everyone else is voting, others would be encouraged to vote as well. While spring football is not happening, our multimedia editor Sarah Nevis interviewed Sam Clark, one of Sac State's punters, about what it is like to be on the football team as an Australian.
Sam Clark, originally from Australia, played football for the first time 2.5 years ago.
Obviously playing college sports is, I think, a big deal for anyone, like Americans or anyone, but I think for like me, just personally, it was like quite an achievement to have never played the sport before, you know, and then come over here and give it a crack. And that's probably like a cool thing personally. My favorite thing is genuinely and absolutely just being the people, from like the coaching staff to all the support staff, but especially the players. I think one thing that's been really cool to see from, I think, not just football, but from the whole school is our alignment that we've had with the Black Lives Matter movement. I've really been proud to, I guess, be a part of a team and a school that's been so forthright in saying, you know, that we're standing with people of color, minorities in like this time. So I think that's really cool.
Thank you, Sarah, for that report. Aaliyah Facili was named the Big Sky Goalkeeper of the Year when she returned from a year where she was unable to play due to an ACL injury. As a freshman, Facili started as a reserve but became the team's starting goalkeeper in the team's third match of the season. During a game with Eastern Washington, she tore her ACL but finished the season without knowing she was severely injured. Facili went into an intensive rehab program and was able to return to the pitch and resume a leadership role with the team. The Hornets women's soccer team earned an 11-2-6 record and set a Big Sky record with a 17-match unbeaten streak.
Only 7% of California State University classes have been approved to meet in person this fall, and music classes are among those still meeting. Members of the marching band would normally practice all together, but because of COVID-19 protocols, they've been forced to practice alone and often in their cars. Veloy Tafoya, a music education major, said, quote, "I have brass class, so I have to come out and play trumpet at 8 a.m. in my car." This situation is shared by Russell Bradley, a freshman music education major. Bradley said, "I've been driving my station wagon behind that hall since it's completely empty. I sit in my trunk with my sheet music in front of me on a stand."
Sacramento held its 5th annual Wide Open Walls this year, which is a project that allows local artists to use buildings as their canvas for artwork that is larger than life. One of the artists, Diana Ormanzi, lost her family home in a fire in September of 2019. Ormanzi said, quote, "As an artist, all the old projects I was no longer excited about were gone, and I was able to start with a blank slate, knowing exactly what kind of artwork I want to strive for and what materials I need to get there." Sac State alumna Madeline Templeton was another artist who participated in the Wide Open Walls this year. Templeton painted her first mural as a student at Sac State inside Yosemite Hall. It features Herky the Hornet in a military-style uniform. Templeton said her inspiration for the Wide Open Walls murals was adaptation and the urgency of reversing climate change.
Now, with campus being closed, myself and Dominic wanted to find out how businesses near campus and some of the campus organizations were handling the lack of students.
In March, it was announced that Sacramento State campus was shut down due to COVID-19. This move left businesses on and around campus losing revenue. As of October, a total of 17 on-campus eateries have been affected by the campus closure. According to UEI Executive Director Jim Reinhart, this has created a $6 million loss in revenue.
With eateries on campus closed, it can be difficult for students to have a variety of food options. Sac State student Kyle Shea, who lives on campus, said he finds it difficult sometimes to find a place to eat.
On campus, I would say namely the food, of course, is a big deal. Like the Riverside Market and the Union are closed now, and that's, you know, there's Baja and Panda and the Bagel Place, and it's just, you know, you have to make do without it, but it also changes how you go about your day, because you have to go out of your way to get food elsewhere.
Julie Files, the owner of Stinger Sports Pub, explained the effects COVID-19 has on her business.
Oh, big time. Huge. We probably took a I would say about a 40% cut in business. As long as the kids from Sac State, we rely on that during the school time, and so it's been a slow start since September.
Thanks for joining us today on this edition of the State Hornet News. I'm Dominic Vidiello.
And I'm Vince Ibarra. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, the coverage continues at statehornet.com.
From everyone at the State Hornet Newsroom, stay safe, stay healthy, stay classy, and stingers up. Remember, we'll see you next time.